All right, if you guys are ready, we're gonna go take this gorgeous black on black Lincoln Navigator for a nice test drive. I just wanted to walk around the outside for a split second to get into the driver's seat so y'all can see what we're driving. If you want to see a much longer detailed presentation about this, take a look for my video on my channel with me showing the outside, the inside, under the hood, and every which way on this Navigator to you. On my channel, you can find that video, so take a look for that. And with that said, here we go for a drive. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. I mentioned on the walk around video, I love the shifter in this Navigator. I like the shape, I like the look, I like the Lincoln emblem on there. I think it's just fantastic. This rides and drives beautifully. Everything works like it should. I have the cooled seat on right now because it's getting a little warm here today already. And I've been running around here. I've got a long sleeve shirt on I probably shouldn't have, but cooled seat works great. Heated seats work great. I really like this SUV. I mentioned several different things on my walk around video that I like about it, and we're gonna go drive it here on some city streets and out on the freeway to really give you some feedback about driving it and how nicely it runs and drives and what I like and anything I don't, which I don't think there's anything that I don't like. Let me zoom this out a little more. There we go. It's big, it's bad, it's all black, and it just commands the road. You feel like you sit up higher than everybody else. It's the same way. Excuse me. There are so many parallels about this to one of my personal vehicles, an Infiniti QX56. Excuse me. I've had a little throat tickle past week or so, and it comes out every once in a while still. There are so many things about this that resonate similarly to my QX. Big SUV, V8 engine, four-wheel drive, third row seat. This Navigator, though, my QX56, has captain's chairs in the second row. I'm going to turn around here with the camera to show you. This has a bench seat. I'm still looking out front, by the way. This has a bench seat in the middle and a bench, of course, for the third row. So this is, in fact, an 8-passenger vehicle. So 3 in the third row, 3 in the middle row, and 2 in the front for mom and dad, or dad and dad, or mom and mom, or whatever you got going on. But yeah, I mean, that one extra seat makes a big deal difference to some families. I mentioned that on the walk around video because some people really need an SUV or a minivan that can have the additional seat in the second row. So big deal there. It's very heavy. I mean, it is heavy, but it also feels heavy. It doesn't drive like, you know, a Honda. I mean, you know, you're driving something with some mass and some weight behind it. But it's in a good way. I mean, it feels, I mentioned on the walk around video, I don't know the safety ratings of this, and I'm not going to pretend that I do, but what I do know is that it feels big, it feels heavy, it feels solid, and it feels like that if you crashed with something else, regardless whether it was that Range Rover in front of us or a small car, I do believe that you're going to be very well protected in this vehicle with you and your family. So it's that's how it feels. It's quiet, but it's luxurious. I mean, this road here is a little bumpy. You know, you feel the bumps a little, but it's still just a luxurious, beautiful, nice riding, and comfortable SUV. It's great power. I believe the horsepower rating is 310, so give or take, you know, that's plenty. Even if you're towing your RV or a camper or something like that, this doesn't feel, I haven't towed anything with this. I have driven this several miles, but several hundreds of miles, but I don't believe you're going to be lacking for any power with towing. My Infiniti, by comparison, is 5.6 liter V8, very similar size, and it's similar horsepower. And I do own a boat, and I tow with it, and I don't even know that the boat is back there when I'm towing it, because the Infiniti does such a nice job of pulling it. The other thing that I like about it in general, but with regard to towing, is this, just like my Infiniti, is two-wheel drive, switch into four-wheel drive. So that's the knob right there. So right now it's in two-wheel drive because there's no reason to even have it in four-wheel drive or automatic four-wheel drive because the road's dry. This Mini Cooper is going very slow. I'm going to slow down a little bit. But anyway, it's nice to be in total control of the four-wheel drive system, and this vehicle, along with my Infiniti, is, look at that, just a little push of the gas, and look at the nice acceleration, smooth, up to 60 miles per hour right there. Steering wheel's nice and straight, solid. But you're in total control of the four-wheel drive system when you have a setup like this. This has 2 high, automatic four-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 low. So I like that. I like that type of four-wheel drive. I am not a big fan of four-wheel drive all the time because it's just unnecessary. That Range Rover that just went by the other direction is four-wheel drive all the time. I'm not a lot of vehicles that are all-wheel drive. That's great. It's better than not all-wheel drive, but that's all they are, is all-wheel drive. This is a real four-wheel drive, like the same setup on this like it would be on an F-150. So 91,000 miles on this, you guys. I said on the walk-around video, do the math. It's this many miles per year. 5,000 miles per year. So 5,000 miles per year. I mean, you can't find SUVs where people only put 5,000 miles per year. Most people with kids, and I don't believe there's ever been a kid in this one, but most people with kids that are hauling their kids and their gear around and their soccer equipment and baseball equipment, they're putting 15,000 minimum, sometimes 20 to 25,000. So this is very, very low mileage. The tires are brand new. The tire pressure sensors are brand new. The brakes are like new on this, so there's no braking issues. The brakes are at 8 millimeters front and rear, so they've got about 80% remaining. It has new tie rod ends, inner and outer in the front. It has fresh oil, has a brand new Motorcraft battery. Also just had the rear differential serviced, so new fluid in the rear differential. It's got nice history with a lot of other new parts that I mentioned on the walk-around video that are somewhat common, like front wheel bearings done recently, and knock sensor. That was another thing. I had to look at my notes here. Knock sensor, and intake gaskets. Intake gaskets, left and right intake gaskets were done in the recent past. So all those things are somewhat common on this, especially the wheel bearings. Has a new washer pump as well. That's kind of common on Fords in general, Ford Lincoln products. So a lot of good stuff that's been done that next person doesn't have to worry about. See how high? I mean, I don't know if you can feel perspectively, but it just feels like every other car is below us or beneath us, because this is a very tall SUV, and then on top of that, the seat, is sitting up nice and tall too. I mean, look at that little baby-sized Mercedes next door. Look at the window line on ours versus them. We're a lot taller, and the Civic in front, I mean, we could just push that out of the way like a bumper car, right? This has an aftermarket radio, but it's very nice. It has navigation, has Bluetooth audio, Bluetooth phone, has a backup camera that's very clear, very nice. I mentioned on my walk-around video, I remember when these Navigators were brand new, and this panel being able to close that says Navigator on it that sort of finishes the dash. Very, very cool feature, I think, and it's just more pleasing to look at the dash in that way. This is really nice road here, but it's very smooth. It's very quiet. The steering wheel's perfectly straight. It's just a nice ride. It's quiet. It's, you know, some people may go, oh, Navigator is just an Expedition, but it's got a Lincoln emblem. You know, you can say that. Great, good for you. Those are usually the haters. But realistically, the luxury brand of any brand vehicle is always nicer. Yes, it comes with a bigger price tag, but heck, when you buy it used, you save a lot more money. My Infiniti is just a Nissan Pathfinder Armada, but it's a lot nicer as the Infiniti version. It's got a lot nicer features, all standard. It's got big chrome 20-inch wheels, you know, just like this, with the wood steering wheel, the xenon lights, the heated and cooled seats. You know, this has it all. And I've talked to enough people over the years that I know for fact there are other quirks, other tweaks that they do. Did I say twerk? I think I did say twerk. I got tweaks and quirks mixed together to come up with twerk. There's little things that they do that make it better. There's better insulation throughout the car that make it quieter. The suspension's better. You know, I remember talking to somebody years ago about Cadillac Escalade versus a Tahoe, and they explained to me, someone that really knew, all the little differences. And there is a lot of difference that goes into it to make it a better, nicer, quieter, more luxurious car. And that's what you get for the bigger price tag. But then you always get better standard equipment. Just like this, having xenon factory xenon headlights. If this was an Expedition, it wouldn't have xenon lights. I don't think they offered them at all in this year, as far as I know. So anyway, that's just my thought. I love Lincolns. I love the brand. I have a beautiful town car. I like the brand a lot. I mentioned on my walk around video that my partner just got a newer Lincoln MKX, newer to him, and it's beautiful. And I'm going to be promoting and selling his old one for him here soon. That's also a very nice MKX, a 2010. So, but you know, the other thing I said on the walk around, here we go, we're going to enter the freeway. The other thing I said on the walk around video, look at the price tag. Look at the price tag of what you can buy one of these for, or buy this for, with the mileage compared to new. It's probably about a $90,000 difference. Look at the nice acceleration. I'm barely pushing the gas down, barely. And we've got great acceleration. Fantastic. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it gets right up to speed. I'll push it down a little harder maybe to show you when we get on the freeway coming back the other direction. But we're going to head down this freeway about maybe 4 miles and turn around, come back the same way. But here we are at 70 miles an hour. I don't know if you can see the dash because it's a little dark on my screen with how bright it is right now. So I don't know if you can see that or not. So I'm kind of calling out the speeds we're at so that you know the speed we're traveling at. But just solid, well-planted, heavy, comfortable seat, really comfortable seat. Fantastic seat. I love these seats. Not only are they heated and air conditioned, but they're nice and wide. They're thick. They're comfortable. I mean, look at that passenger seat. You know, just very, very nice. Be fantastic for a long journey. My Infiniti is the same way. Sorry to keep saying my Infiniti, but this reminds me so much of that I have to elaborate and say that, you know, it's what I'm used to. And I've driven and owned my Infiniti for almost a decade and over 100,000 miles, and my Infiniti vehicle has over 200,000 miles, so this is still a baby by comparison. So it's smooth and nice and quiet. There's nothing negative. The only negative I guess I could possibly think of for this vehicle, comfort-wise, is I do wonder, There's a lot of headroom, like from the top of my head, when I reach up here to my head to the ceiling, I've easily got about 4 or 5 inches. So someone taller than myself could certainly still have plenty of headroom. The only thing I'm not sure about is the leg room. If someone was tall with a lot of leg tall, I have the seat all the way back. I'm going to continue looking out front, but I'm going to show you that, you know, I don't have a lot of leg room. If I was about, I would suppose that someone 6'2", 6'3" would be okay. But if you got to be 6'5", 6'6", you might run out of leg room or be cramped by the steering wheel a little bit here, maybe. So that's the only thing I could think about. I'm perfectly and wonderfully comfortable. I am, again, right about 6'1" and about 180-ish pounds, depending on the day. So I'm very comfortable. I mean, extremely comfortable, possibly more comfortable than my Infinity, which that car is not happy with me right now saying that. I just engaged the cruise control, so the cruise control works. You can see the little green emblem down there at the bottom saying that the cruise control's on, but I'm going to have to push the brake to slow down. So cruise control works like it should. Actually, there. So we can push the speed up button here, so you can see that happen. So I'm holding the accelerate button. So there we go, up to 70 or so. My feet aren't on the pedals, so you can see that works like it should. Big, huge mirrors on this. I mean, it doesn't have blind spot, of course, because it's too old, but the mirrors are so big, you pretty much, I mean, I could see that silver Hyundai the entire way we passed him. So, I don't know. I don't really care for all that, all the nanny systems on the newer cars. I don't really need it. The only thing I really like is a backup camera, which this has now with the newer audio unit, but I don't need blind spot. I don't need all the other garbage that the newer cars have. It's just more stuff to go wrong. I do, in general, I really do feel that there's really good visibility out of this, especially because the door, the belt line on the door is very low, so you kind of feel, I don't like when these are way up high. You really feel like you can look down and see, and you can see out. I mean, because look how much lower this is than the dashboard, right? It's almost about an 8-inch drop, but it's nice because if, God forbid, it was way up here, you'd feel like you were boxed in. And I did say on the walk around video, I feel that this interior is very, very cavernous. That's kind of a big word in the car world, I guess, but I think it's appropriate for this. I think this interior feels cavernous because it just feels comfortable and cave-like, and especially with being all black and kind of dark, but in a good way. It's sexy, Another thing I love that I mentioned on the walk-around video is that on older cars like this, when you got black interior, just like my town car that's black and black, the headliner's black, the A-pillar material's black, the handles are black. Look at the seatbelt on my chest. The seatbelt's black, and the entire headliner all the way to the back is black. And that's awesome, because newer cars, a lot of times it's black interior, but the headliner's gray. Okay, I've stopped, and I'm gonna put it just about to the floor so you can see the acceleration. Excellent. Woo! Oh yeah, 75 miles an hour before we even hit the curve to get off of the off-ramp, but you could see it shifted a lot later, had great pull, great power, probably getting 6 miles to the gallon doing that, but it's yeah, got great power, great acceleration. Slow down. Jeez, people are so stupid. Let's slow down under the speed limit because someone's off the road. If everybody, and I said, if you heard what I just said, that's just my opinion. But I mean, if everybody would just move over to the left lane when people are off the road, then those people can stay safe and you could go by them at the speed limit. I mean, you should slow down a little bit, but you don't need to slow down to 45 just because you're going by a police officer in a car on the side of the road. Just get in the other lane and stay there. So here we are again. Oh, now we're at 80 miles an hour. I mean, it's just as good of a ride at 80 as it is at 70 as it is at 20. I really, as I said in the beginning, I really like this SUV. It's very, very nice. It's very, very comfortable. It's very, very luxurious. It's great looking. I think I may have already said this on this video, but if not, you know, it's doesn't look its age at all. So if you like what I do, give a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. I like to read comments. I like to read any suggestions that I think may be helpful to the way I do things. I love to talk about and present cars to you guys. I find it fascinating how many people enjoy my driving videos and my reviews. So please use the comments as like a discussion board and say what you want to say. Chime in if you own one and say something about it. Very cool, and I appreciate everybody, and thanks for any feedback, thumbs up, likes, subscriptions, whatever you want to do. $78 miles an hour. I'm going to push it up to 80. There's 80. 80. Smooth. Look how straight. Look at the steering wheel. Look at that. I mean, it's only drifting just a little bit because of the crown of the road, but smooth and straight. Nice. I feel like I could drive to Florida in this and I would be comfortable the whole way. So that says something when you're measuring the comfort of something that you may drive every day or drive on every day plus take on trips. I think this is an exceptionally comfortable car, and I can't see how anybody's family, children, I'm looking out front, can't be comfortable back there with all that room in the back, right? So oh, see, the gas gauge went down because I pushed the gas. Take a look for my walk around video if you'd like to see more of this in more detail of the inside and the outside and under the hood and all that, all the particulars. Check that out if you like. But I would highly recommend one of these. Oh, you know, I forgot to say this, but since we're stopped now, another thing I think is a great feature that I mentioned on the walk around video, adjustable pedals right here. You can, they move even when you're in gear, so they're moving in and out. So I like to keep them all the way out right there. But I think that's a great feature that just again lends to another aspect of comfortability. You know, I always say this and I think it's relevant. I think it makes it more comfortable for anyone, but I think that a shorter or a young driver or someone that's just, you know, considered shorter, you know, on the short side would find it very comfortable to be able to move those pedals. That way you're not laying on top of the steering wheel and the airbag So I think that's another just really, really nice feature to have on any car, but especially on this. So there's so many things to talk about. It's hard to decide what to include or not include, or things you want to mention or not mention, but I hope you find my entertainment refreshing, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I think that's probably about enough right about here. We've done city and freeway. The four-wheel drive system works perfectly on this. I'm not going to demonstrate that on the dry pavement, but it does work like it should. I would recommend one of these if you're considering to buy one. So definitely look for yours. I think it's fantastic. It doesn't get good fuel mileage, like I said on the walk around video, but if you're buying something of this size, or you need it because your family is large or because you have a boat to tow, you can't expect to get, you're not going to get great fuel mileage and get all of the other benefits. Here comes a Lincoln MKX on our left, just like the one I was mentioning that my partner just got. That's a kind of pretty cranberry color. There we go. Another member of our family there on the road. Those are really, really nice too, but you know, that's about literally half the size of this in all ways. So great car as well. But anyway, Navigator, wonderful vehicle, wonderful SUV, commanding nameplate, and this one is big and bad and black all the way. So thanks for watching, thanks for joining, I appreciate everyone. Leave your like, leave your comment, leave your suggestion, subscribe, say something nice, whatever you want to say. Have a great day, everybody, and until next time, peace and bye-bye. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.